You know, I am into politics for a year and a half, urban development minister for the last 1 year, and I have realized with this Amrut 500 cities and smart cities, the only similarity I see that every wife has a different problem in their husband. Every city in India has a different problem, and they need to be addressed in that different manner. And therefore, the revenue structure of that city has to be done in a manner where the city or the state government, urban local body, can actually support the endeavors of the central government. What, as he mentioned, the federal structure, the federal government, we formulate policies, but you see the policies, they in most of the cases they remain on PPTs, on presentations, on our advisories and all of that. But to make policy a doing word, a verb, it is you, the urban local bodies, who has to work in tandem with in harmony with the state governments to make them actually happen on ground zero. And when I say ground zero, the grounds have really remained close to zero for a very long time. So we need to actually think on how, instead of thinking about why we have been left out by the central government, I think it is important that the urban local bodies also look into themselves and formulate their own ways, wherein, if people from outside our country, from Barcelona or San Francisco or Cape Town, and I would leave Barcelona, San Francisco apart, because it's actually talking apples and oranges. So if it can even have the municipal commissioners and the mayors from Surat guide other cities, I think that is a more prudent way of looking at it. I mean, I look at these pictures in PPTs. In most cases, in PPT in chemistry, we learned it is precipitation. So these pictures and these concepts, they are so heavy in terms of, in the Indian perspective, that they actually precipitate in my mind, and then they probably drain out, because I can't implement them in the Indian perspective. And therefore, it is very, very important that when you are getting a chance to see these ideas, it is important to find out what exactly out of that we can actually bring into our own livelihood. Because the cities in India, the urbanization, the rate of urbanization and everything, it is expanding. It is exploding at a much faster rate than the rate at which we are trying to make these cities sustainable or livable, to say the least. So I think that while the central government has laid down very clear-cut norms in terms of the central assistance, in terms of where we come in terms of helping and holding hands, as you said, holding hands, it is important for all of you to actually go back to your own drawing boards and find out how you can give us a holding hand in terms of complementing what we are contributing from the center. Because see, as Shamika was just saying, that we are she used the word grappling. We are grappling with the definition of smart city itself. Now, if you really look into Barcelona, or if you look into the pictures of Dubai or San Francisco, or a couple of Chinese city, be it Shanghai or something, we are just going to get lost, because they are so far away from where we stand in Pushkar or in Ajmer or in Allahabad, that it is going to be very hard to inspire ourselves to actually walk the direction which can bring about changes in that city. So the general concept, or something that people in India would think, that the central government is going to make those 100 smart cities and airlift and drop them in certain places in India, are not actually going to happen. The smart city is a smart term, but then it also needs to be addressed from the very basic levels in terms of sewerage, water supply. And I understand the problem that you said, that the 74th Amendment has not been implemented by very many states in India, and that does make things a little harder for urban local bodies. But if you have these ideas, share it with your state government. Let the state governments come to us, and let's formulate the ways where the particular problems in your cities can be addressed. Sometimes I find presentations with holistic approach actually addressing the holy cow and not the problem of the city. So therefore, a holistic approach might not be the solution to your particular city. Pinpoint the problem. There's no need for paradigm shifts. Just do a small shift in your policy wherein you can directly address the sewerage system. Find out what exactly you can do to actually make that happen in your city, and create your own revenue structure. Like what we have seen here is in the PPT that Shamika had shown, that most of the revenue in many of our Indian cities come from property taxes. Now that cannot carry on for a very long. That has happened, but if that is what remains, and that is what we take forward as our biggest financial strength, then we will not be able to implement the smart ideas that we are talking inside this, and it will be that in India we are going to have roundtable conferences in rectangular tables. I mean, to put it lightly. So therefore, my humble request to all of you, people who would actually make those policies doing words and verbs in the cities, to actually go back to the drawing board and not search for holding hands. We are there from the Urban Development Ministry to hold your hand. We are there with the policies. Tell us where you are getting stuck. Tell us what you can do in your particular in a particular city. Yes, you did not get included in the first 20 list, but that gives you one more year to actually address maybe probably 100 files that you have lying on your table. So handle them smartly, create new proposals. When you come back next year, you will be in a better position to jump into the smart city endeavor. So I just want to show you some light, and let me tell you again on a lighter note that ours is the only ministry which works 24 hours a day. Because with my Bollywood background, I do my music, start doing my music from 12 o'clock in the night. So I'm on my piano till 4. So I go to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. By the time I go to sleep, my senior minister Venkaiah Naidu is already up and ready. So he wakes up at 4 o'clock, I sleep at 4. So here is one ministry which works 24 hours, and we are here to help you. Create your own, see your own problems, find out your, gentlemen, treat your city as your wife, and then you'll find how to solve those problems. Only you know what the problem is. Holistic approach is not going to help, because we have all read, sometimes it's important to find out which is the biggest problem in your particular city. That might not always match with what we are presenting you as the areas that we want to address. So once you do that, I think you will be able to address that particular problem in your city holistically, and then you will make the people in your city smile. So that's all that I have to tell you. I think that the light in the room is dim because we have enlightened people, so light is not really required. I hope that your enlightenment shines on us, and we be able to implement these great pictures in the pictures cities that we have in terms of natural beauty, and not in terms of smart structures and everything else that we have managed to do in the last 50-60 years. So thank you so much once again for taking interest in the Indian development, and as I said, we are on 24/7. Any good ideas that comes to us, we are there to help you out. Thank you so much once again.